Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today's video I'm going to be reviewing the new Almay Best Blend Forever foundation. I was shopping at Harmons and I saw this and I was pretty intrigued by it and I wanted to give it a try. It is called the Best Blend Forever foundation by Almay. The only thing I did not like was that the foundation, the bottles are kind of similar. There's probably like a shade off, so it was pretty hard to choose my shade because to choose it has to come through the sponge and I didn't want to ruin it because I hate when people do that, so I didn't want to do it to someone else. Yeah, I hate when people like ruin them to test the shade, so I didn't want to do that. So yeah, I am going to test this out. I'm going to start with the stuff that I usually would prep my face with, so I'm going to go in with my Clinique moisturizer. So I'm going to take the foundation, and it looks like this. It's a tube, and then you take the plastic off. It's like this, and then you take the plastic off, and it's a little sponge, and you squeeze the foundation that comes through the sponge. Yeah, so like I said, it was pretty hard to test this out without messing up the sponge for someone else, so I really didn't want to do that. So hopefully the shade is right. I don't know. I got it in the shade Sand Beige. I bought this when I did have a spray tan on, so don't know, maybe dark. So let's start squeezing. Oh, so gross. Alright, so I'm gonna put it on my face. It's really creamy. Looks like a right shade. There's no like directions or anything like foundations usually have. So I guess I'll try out the sponge first since it comes with a sponge. I'm assuming that you use this to blend it in. It didn't really say. Okay, yeah, so that's not blending in. So we're gonna go in with a beauty blender and blend it out. It's really creamy. I think the shade I got has a little bit of a pink undertone. Really creamy. But also not like watery. It's pretty thick also. It looks like it's my shade on camera, but it's definitely not my shade. It's kind of like a pink undertone, and it kind of just makes me look washed out. But forget about the shade for a second. The coverage is actually pretty good, as you can see here, my pinkness is still kind of, oh wait, look at my nose. It's like seeping in there. So the coverage on my cheeks are actually pretty good. It's still showing a tiny bit, not crazy though. It doesn't say what type of coverage that it's supposed to be, but I would say this is medium to full coverage. It basically covered everything, but let's go in with another layer just to see if it's buildable, because that is a lot of people always want to know if it's buildable, because a lot of people like a lot of foundation. So let's see if it's buildable. I also feel like a lot of the foundation is like in the sponge. When I was trying to blend it and using this, it really wasn't blending in. It was just really picking up the foundation. Let's see. Oh, it is definitely buildable. It is going on a second layer very nicely. It's not picking up any other products that was originally there. Now that I'm going in a second time, the foundation is pretty thick. It is not a thin foundation. Definitely buildable, but now I feel like the second layer is kind of latching on to my dryness, which usually I never have an issue with foundation. The first layer really didn't do that. I really think that the second layer did that. Oh, and I don't know if I mentioned, but this was $14.99 at Harmon's. And if you don't know what Harmon's is, it's a drugstore. It's like a CVS or a Walgreens or anything like that, but things are actually discounted. It was $14.99 in Harmon's, so that's usually the discounted price, which, I mean, it's probably like $20 in CVS. I'm not really sure what's with all these drugstore foundations being like really expensive. If I wanted to spend $20 on a foundation, I would just spend the extra $10 to get a high-end. That's just my opinion. Alright, so it's definitely buildable. My skin actually looks pretty nice. Like I said, I did pick up some of the dry areas, but I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of my face, and then I will give you my final thoughts at the end. Okay, I'm back. So I went ahead and finished the rest of my face. I applied my concealer, my powders, my bronzer, my eye makeup, all that good stuff. But let's get back on the topic of the foundation. How do I start? I'm just gonna start. I hate it. I don't like it at all. I'm gonna zoom in. I'm gonna come in a little closer. But I went ahead and applied my concealers, my bronzers. I set it with powder. I went ahead and then did my eye, and then I noticed my face getting oily. If you can tell, I am already getting oily, and I don't have an oily face. I do get oily in my T-zone throughout the day. Yes, that is true, but I don't get oily for taking 10 minutes to do my eye makeup. I don't get oily in 10 minutes, like, that just doesn't happen. So as you can see in my T-zone, I am so oily. I don't know how. I set it with my favorite powder I always use. I even set my entire face. Not sure why I'm oily. I'm gonna add some powder right now. I'm just so oily. Do you see? Meanwhile, I already did this. I did this, plus I used my Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder. So I already did all this setting. You know, I should be doing this in 8 hours, because I was even going to wear this for the rest of the day, and I was going to check in throughout the day, you know, and let you guys know how it's wearing, how all that. But to be honest, I don't even think I could wear this the rest of the day if I got oily in 10 minutes. You know, I can't go to work. So the first thing, I got oily. The second thing, the shades. It's so hard to pick a shade. It looks fine on camera, but my neck and my face are completely different. My face is way like a cool tone right now. My face is like looks pink, and my body does not. So that's another thing. It's hard to choose a shade because all the bottles are pretty similar. There's probably like one shade off. Second thing, it pretty much eats up the foundation. You really can't use this to blend. The next thing, this is $14.99. Definitely not worth $15 by any means. Oh, and then I also noticed that when I was setting my face, because I always set my face before I apply any powders or bronzers, I always set my face with this like I just did in my T-zone, and then I also set my entire face before I go in with my bronzer. I felt like even after I set my face, my bronzer was just latching on to the foundation. It wasn't going on smoothly. So yeah, that's never really happened before. And then also, as I was doing my makeup, I noticed that the foundation was like getting really gross looking. Let's try to zoom in. You really can't see it now because I just set it, but it's like really gross looking. It's like getting into my nose, which never happens with any of my foundations. It's getting into my nose on both sides. So that's another thing that's kind of annoying. So I think I really went into depth with everything. To be honest, I'm not going to do a wear test because I got oily in 10 minutes after setting my face. There's no reason for me to wear it for the rest of the day. I know what's going to happen. I'm going to get oily in 10 minutes again and set my face, and I really don't want to do that to my skin. So yeah, I think that this foundation is a pass. I really hate that I hate some drugstore foundations because, you know, drugstore foundations are cheaper and everyone wants to like them. So I'm kind of disappointed I didn't like this. But at the same time, this is $15. It's not really that cheap, so I'm not really missing out on anything. I am definitely going to be returning this because I am not having my $15 be wasted. So yeah, I think I went into all the details. I let you guys know that it is pretty thick actually. It's definitely buildable. So yeah, that is my final thoughts on the new Almay Best Blend Forever Foundation. Leave me a comment down below and let me know if you've tried this and your thoughts on it. You know, everyone's skin is different, so if this may not work for me, it may work for you. That is just, everyone's different. So yeah, let me know down below if you tried it, and if you like it, and your thoughts on it, and how you apply it, and all that good stuff. And yeah, so I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up before you go, and don't forget to subscribe. And I will see you all in my next video.